So good afternoon. Welcome to Guru Football. Well, you know my co-host, and my name is Kwan. This is Jordan regular me. All
Hello.
right. Next to Jordan is Vic.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
All right. And on top of Vic is Ishmael.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
All right. So guys, how your weekend going?
It's our football this weekend.
We mean with that football this weekend.
That's some good football this weekend. What do you mean?
Yeah, we mean.
I see. I watch Chelsea this morning. I watch the Liverpool game as well. And well, boy,
Chelsea game. Put me to sleep.
Jorginho, boy, Ballon d'Or, boy. I
I
laugh
Chelsea
when
they
he
get
missed
me to
that
sleep.
penalty.
I'm gonna lie. I
I
laugh too.
laugh.
You feel I laugh? I said, watch him, man. Watch him. I'm sure you gonna miss. I swear you was passing the ball to the man. No?
I mean, I call off. Benzema missed wins last weekend, Wednesday.
Serious? Serious?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He missed two pens in that game. But Benzema is not a penalty specialist. He's not a penalty merchant. He's not a connoisseur of the spot kick.
Like
Unlike
Jorginho.
a certain Italian regista. As a result, I think that it was rather funny that the man he come to the end in Ballon d'Or voter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a good man. Because really and truly, before that penalty, I didn't even see the man whole game. So
Yeah, but you can already compare the Ballon d'Or placements in a season gone to this current season performance. The man was one of the better players in that season when he was up there. I don't think he deserved to be quite so high,
I don't find
but
he
he
was.
wasn't so bad.
I find there were so many better players than Jorginho for Chelsea last season. You had James, you had
Yeah.
Mount. Like Miss
Yeah,
Mount played out
exactly.
of his skin last season, you know.
Yeah, but you had to
It's,
understand too. That was a Euro season as well, right?
Yeah, we had
yeah, because of
better players
Euros.
for Italy too.
No,
Because
but
Bergamo.
Euros, yeah.
it was a combination of the performance of the both things, the club and country. So
Yeah, Timmy is right. He was in the right teams. He wasn't necessarily
Yeah.
all that good. He wasn't that good.
Yeah.
And anyhow, enough about
We
enough
ain't,
about he.
yeah, we ain't
Yeah,
come to talk about that today. Right,
yeah.
guys? So we see that, man, you got a manager changes for next season. Right? Eric Ten Hag. How you feel about that?
I'm real surprised they made such a good decision.
Well, that's
I
what
agree.
Rannicke was brought in to do. To make these decisions for them and
True.
push them onto the right path.
That's true.
So you could only hope that was his decision,
Probably.
probably, right? So what you all think will be his what are you gonna try to say? Yeah.
if
I
you
What
hit
have
do you
the
all
ground
think will
running,
be, yeah, if you take the ground running, if you will have Manu playing his type of football, um if it's a big
I
if
have
you the players that he wants, stuff like that.
I have a lot to say about that because and money in general, right? Because everything we seen happening to Manu now, this didn't just happen. This
Mm-hmm.
is the better half of a decade of poor planning, poor transfers, and a lack of foresight by the team. And it goes all the way up to the owners. Every step of the way. It's not like Newcastle where the owner was doing nonsense, but the rest of the team was doing okay. This is
Mm-hmm.
completely every level. There was some miscommunication, mispoint, like poor decisions being made, and it
Mm-hmm.
goes all the way back to the David Moyes season, right? The when he brought in Fellini and all of that. they were still getting the result. They were doing poorly, but everything Ferguson built was still there. But I think, and I'll come back to this later on when I'm talking about Ten Hag, but this reminds me a lot of a Louis Van Gaal signing. Van Gaal came in, and there was the same question surrounding Van Gaal as it does Ten Hag now.
Mhm.
But over the years, and what I realized, something that Manchester United has done repeatedly. Let me ask you all this: what do the transfers of Cristiano Ronaldo, Alexis Sanchez, Fred, and Harry Maguire all have in common?
All of them in the same number.
Opportunistic.
They're not opportunities. Well, yeah, but no. All of them were linked to Man City, and all of them were heading to Man City before United swoop in
Oh
and
yeah.
finalize the transfer. Right? And if you realize that Manchester United, that has been their biggest transfer acumen over the last few years, is to take whoever City want to buy and bring them in. City would have been looking at those players because they fit a role in the system that Guardiola would have wanted to have, right? They fit a role in that system. In Man United, they just take them. Oh, Pep want them. Let me go. Let me hijack that side and let me get them. If Pep want them, they had to be good, but they had no idea how to use these types of players, right? And that's why you end up with Fred looking the way he is. It's only now he's starting to look good, but that's why Sanchez was a complete and utter failure, right? And that's why the signing of Ronaldo, even though it did add goals, it took away so much from the team because guess what, right? Ronaldo is the reason they even were fighting for top four in the first place. He has been their main source of goals. But the things that Ronaldo add to the team, it cancels off with what he caused them to lose from last season because the creativity of Bruno, the interchangeability of the forwards and the left wing when Martial was playing forward and Rashford was left wing, Greenwood was right wing, and they could all interchange in that forward line. You lose that when Ronaldo came. You
Mhm.
lose a lot of that familiarity as well because now you have to shoehorn the one of the best players in the world into that team and
Mhm.
fit everything else to his style of play when they already had a style that was working and they had young players develop into that style. So th- it's more than 5 years of poor transfer planning, poor transfer acumen that's got them into this mess. And when you have teams who do stuff like that, it's gonna take years to build back, right? You look at Liverpool under Jurgen Klopp. It took Klopp 3 to 4 years to get the kind of results he wanted. It started with the signing of like Sadio Mane and Mo Salah, and then every window he would keep adding. So it'd be Mane, Salah, Van Dijk, Alisson, and it's only then that they built that core that was able to win the Champions League and win the Premier League. And Man United need to do the same. And it's whether or not the fans, their fan base, their stakeholders, and whoever else is in charge of making these decisions would give Rangnick and would give Ten Hag the time to rebuild a team from what they are now because they're really and truly in a really bad, a precarious situation right now. And the only thing that would help them is time.
But I don't think they have time because the problem with Manu is they have a lot of will. They put a lot of pressure on themselves, right?
Mhm.
So they're gonna pressure Ten Hag to deliver right away, and we all know this, right? And if he doesn't deliver within 2 years, he's gone. He's gone. Yeah, and that's the hard part. It's
And
it's song like Chelsea, yeah?
it's
But
it's un, it's unrealistic
yeah,
to expect that. The one thing
hmm
that has Chelsea doing so good right now is Cobham,
yeah,
It's
correct.
Yeah.
Cobham. If it wasn't for Cobham, that Chelsea model would have crumbled by now.
hmm
But United do have that. Yeah, they have a good academy, but it's nowhere near the level that Cobham is. And
hmm
you put pressure on your first team manager to deliver right away. It's not going to work, especially when you have a decade of failure to back you up. So
Mm-hmm.
they have to first disassemble and reassemble. Remember, there was a time when Liverpool had Jay Spearing, John Joe Shelby, and Ricky Lambert and Mario Balotelli starting for them, and
Hey,
Klopp
hey,
took that team,
Balotelli was a good player.
not for Liverpool, sir.
I don't say for Liverpool, but he's a good player in general.
Yes, yes. They had Alberto Moreno and Jose Enrique and Glenn Johnson. That's the level of man that Liverpool team
That
had.
that
And
yeah.
Klopp take that team. He had to first weed out the weak players and then slowly integrate his style and slowly integrate his types of players. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what Man United need, really and truly. And the fans and the board need to understand that they need to take time to do that. And they are I don't expect them to make top four next season either. Honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at the
Same.
Arsenal project that's going on now, I could only see Arsenal going up from here. Granted, Arsenal need a lot of depth and they need to have a good window this window. But if Arsenal play their cards right, they could seal off that top four from any other team. And I think that is what Man United need to realize. They need to play the long game here. They really do.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully they do. So let me get back to Ten Hag. What do you think is possible impact will be from the beginning? You think when the majorities of these players would head out, or he would actually give them a chance again?
So if you look at the current Manchester United squad, right? And if I had to give Ten Hag like a squad that, he would be happy with, he would work with, players that, could fit multiple systems and players that could make an impact, right? We're not talking about squad level players. We're talking about like starting 11 players who could, do something. If I look at the entire Manchester United squad right now, minus the ones who would be on a free this window, right? So I kind of consider them more or less gone already, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you look at it, there's only like maybe 4 5 players that you'd want to offer up to Ten Hag, and it's
And
like players
who's
probably
those four
like
or five players?
Jaden Sancho, um, Bruno, maybe Varane, because Varane in Manchester United so far has not worked out to the level that it should have, and possibly 2 fullbacks that I wouldn't even start them, but I would just have them in the squad. Wan Bissaka and Tellers, right? Besides that, a lot of the players there, I wouldn't say should be up to what Manchester United thinks their standards should be. It's not the current Manchester United standards, but it's what they think they should standards should be, right? And well, for the season, I would say he deserves to be part of any project moving forward. But other than that, a lot of the players they have a big decision to make, whether it's the old players that they need to just let go of, or the young players where they need to just figure out, listen, either we moving forward with you, building with you, or if we're not going to build with you, we need to move on from you, right? You have players like Luke Shaw who is very hot and cold. Like sometimes he's probably one of the best left backs in the league, and then sometimes he's probably one of the worst left backs in the league, right? And you need more consistent players if you're going to move forward, right? And then if we look at the spending that not Manchester United has been doing, but the teams around Manchester United has been doing over the last 3 years, right? Let me say since the pandemic has started, the last 3 years, there are 5 other clubs that would have spent over 200 million in transfers, incoming transfers, right? You have the Chelsea, City, Arsenal projects and the Tottenham project, right? Then you have other clubs who have money that they're going to spend to battle for things, right? And this is like the
Newcastle.
Villa, the Newcastle, and then you
Mm-hmm.
have play, clubs that don't spend as much money, but they get a lot out of their spendings, right? So you have
Brighton.
Liverpool, you have Brighton, you have, I would say, even
Wolves.
maybe Leeds and Leicester could get a
Wolves
lot
too.
out of their spending, right?
Hmm.
And Wolves as well, right? So even if you're going to say, okay, well, Ten Hag coming in, I don't see necessarily that he's going to make a big impact because all the other clubs are also investing and making better their squads, their teams every year, right? So this is just going to be Manchester United going to try to improve their squad, but that's not in isolation, right? Every other club within the top
Mm-hmm.
eight or so also doing that, and they also put in money on the table as well, right? So he has to get, I would say, at least 5 or 6 players. I can't tell you which players it is because that's up to him which players he wants, right? But I hope he gets at least 6 players to move forward, right? And he doesn't stay with the squad. Like if you say you want, okay, ideally you'd give him 15 players. That's not possible, right? Because if we look at it, more than likely that's not going to happen. But if you say, okay, well, we're giving you 5 or 6 players with a certain budget, you know, get the best players that you could fit within the system to start kick the ball rolling. Well, that would be kind of investment that he needs if he's going to have an impact. Because you have Chelsea, City, Liverpool, and as Vic said, Arsenal. That would probably be the top four moving forward, unless other teams really comes and their managers and their players come and have something to say about it, right? And I don't think Ten Hag is going to make a big impact. I really think he needs to. Manchester United needs to have that approach with Liverpool had with Klopp, and give him at least 3 years. Anything less than 3 years, I can't even judge him for being a manager here.
Jordan, you have anything to add to it?
No, I kind of agree with that. I think that they kind of just need to start over and give him his own team. I also don't think that the players there right now have the mentality that he would want them to have. And like how he's be shouting at players, like how he was shouting at Noah Lang for not dropping deep and all kinds of things. I don't think they can handle all that. So I think, yeah,
Yeah,
he needs a lot of time.
I agree. And there's one thing that Smiley said that really makes sense. The expectation that the team has as opposed to being realistic.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone from the board to the players to the fans expect Man United to be fighting for top two, top three for fighting for the Prem. But if you're being realistic, nobody is on the level that City and Liverpool are. Nobody in the world is on the level that Liverpool and City are at. And yeah, Oli did a good job getting them to second, but you have to understand that Liverpool had a horror season last season with all those
Mm-hmm.
injuries at the back. Like, that is something that's unprecedented and is not going to happen. And the only time Man United breaking into that top three is if there's a horror season like that again. Or should I say top two? And the expectation and this Manchester United standard that everyone holds, right? If you hold them to that standard, they will always fall short. You have to be realistic with your goals. Your goals can't be to win the Premier League because you're not going to win the Premier League given the level that Liverpool and City are at. Your goals should be minimum to place fourth, right? And to build and to have positive signs. So a deep cup run, a deep Europa League run, stuff like that. Because if it is, you tell yourself, all right, if you don't finish in the top two, you're getting sacked. Then that's almost an impossible job,
Mm-hmm.
right?
So outside of Sancho, Bruno, Varane, maybe some of their fullbacks, which players in the current squad would you say is at the standard that Manchester United thinks that they are at?
Right. Well, that's the thing. They need to not think that they're at this standard
Yeah,
because
but
they're
they
not.
they don't even have the
None of those
players
none
to
of those
reach that
players
level.
start none of those players start for City or Liverpool, though. Even your Bruno, even your Sancho, they don't start for City or Liverpool.
Even
And
Chelsea
they're
probably not.
for, for Chelsea, maybe, depending on the
Sancho
manager.
maybe.
Sancho
Yeah,
maybe, but that's
Sancho
it.
maybe.
maybe.
Yeah.
Sancho maybe, but The rest of them, it's not because they are not good players. It's because
Mm-hmm.
what Chelsea, what City, what Liverpool do is they built a system. They brought in Sancho last year, right? And they tell him, go play right wing. We buying a right winger. But Sancho is better on the left. But you have
Mm-hmm.
Rashford, you have Martial on the left. So now, what you doing with Sancho? You understand? It was a theoretically good signing on paper, but if you actually look at it, it was difficult to execute, and that's what they have been doing. The same thing with Pogba. They bring in Pogba, say, right, this is a 6. No, this is a 8. No, this is between a 6 and a 8. No, he's between a 8 and a 10. Up to now, nobody know exactly what's Pogba, and it's not because they don't, because France does do it. France does squeeze every drop out of Pogba. The problem
Mm-hmm.
is, the problem is they don't have a plan. They don't know how to build around a certain player or a certain group of players. They don't have that core that Liverpool, that City, that Chelsea have, and Ten Hag needs to establish that core as early as possible. I would give him maybe the next 3 windows to establish a core and to see progress with that core of players. And that core, from the ones that you have now, I think the core should be Jadon Sancho, it should be Fred, it should be Bruno, it should be Varane, and it should be Maguire. And the reason I say Maguire, and I know I will get a lot of heat for this, he does do it for England. All right, or wrong? All right, or
True.
wrong?
All right, all
Yeah,
right.
you're right.
I could
Yeah.
give him the benefit of the doubts. But what about
No.
what about what about Anthony Langa?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
But
the
the,
thing
the
is,
thing
he's
with
a good
the thing
player,
with
right? But
Alanga,
he
the thing
shouldn't
with
be in the starting 11.
the thing with
No, he
Alanga though,
shouldn't.
isn't he right footed, right? He's right footed
That
or
that
left
that
footed.
that I'm not sure.
I
You watch
think
man, you watch much.
I think man, you need a player like Ziyech or Mahrez, a left footer on the right wing who
He's a
gonna
right
be a
footer.
threat. They need a left footer. They need a Ziyech or they need a Mahrez. And the reason I say that is because I just think that with Greenwood out of the picture, that right wing slot has become completely different. The form Greenwood is in to the back end of last season was monstrous. And well, he's obviously out of the picture now. But I think they need somebody who could do major things with a left foot coming off the right wing. And I think Sancho should be playing at left wing. And on top of that, I also think they should get a strike. They should have at least 2 new strikers. I don't know what's going to be the situation with Cristiano Ronaldo this season, whether he leaves or whether he stays, where he goes. I don't know what's going to happen. If you keep him,
Yeah, they need strikers.
if you keep Ronaldo, you're preventing Ten Hag from playing his type of football. But if Ten Hag is a good enough manager, he could incorporate Ronaldo into his team. It's almost a 50-50 with Ronaldo as to whether you keep him for 1 season or you bin him and you try to get a striker that could play like a false nine slash still finish chances. And that's a real hard thing because as me and Smiley were talking about earlier, quality number nines right now, it's really hard to find them. And it's even
Mm-hmm.
harder to find one who could hold up the ball well. You know how hard it is to find a player who could play false nine well? And I was actually thinking, and maybe even let Bruno play false nine if it is, you want to go down that route. I find Bruno.
If to me, if I were them, I would be looking at Darren Nunez. To be
Nah,
honest,
nah.
you don't find so?
You can't have that team. You can't have that
Mm-hmm.
team and want to play counter-attacking football because then
Mm-hmm.
you're wasting everybody else in the team. You're wasting Maguire and Varane who are ball playing defenders, right? You're forcing them
Mm-hmm.
to be deep, deep, deep in the back. Then you're wasting Fred because Fred is our ball progressor. He ain't really great at much things, but he's a box to box, and when you give him that license to play box to box, he's really good. Darwin Nunez in a front three with Sancho would be theoretically would look real nicer, but you had to play on the counter to do that, and I do think Man you should be playing on the counter.
You
I
know,
think
I have watched like a lot of games from Ten Hag, but he doesn't seem to be a controlling manager,
nobody
right?
the Ajax do sit back.
Yeah, they do sit back, right?
They
But
have
Yeah, we
they
know
have
that.
like 60 to 70% of the ball all the time,
And
and
I remember you talked about wanting a left foot to the right winger.
yeah,
He already has that in Anthony. He could possibly buy.
that's the player that I think they should buy. Actually, they should buy Anthony or even Neres. Although I think Neres just moved.
Neres moved to Shakhtar Donetsk,
Right.
but he's not playing in football right now because of what's
Yeah.
going on. Yeah,
So I
but
think
I
Anthony
don't
would
want
be.
Anthony to go to Man U. So
I personally don't want that either, but it would be the type of signing they need to make if they
yeah,
want to go where they want to go. It is the type of signing they need to make if they want to go where they want to go. And I think this is my personal opinion. Wilfred and Didi is the most important player Man you need to buy. If not him, Calvin Phillips. But one of those two, Man you need to buy. I don't think they could afford Rice. I really don't think they could afford Rice. And I don't think
nobody
Rice
can
will go
afford
for
you
the
right now, no?
I don't
Really.
think I don't think Rice is the right player.
But
Given
if they buy one of them, right, they'll have to be able to keep them fit. Because
yeah,
that's part of the problem for them right now.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
what I'm thinking, right, is that you buy one. So I think NDD or Calvin Phillips, you buy one of those two and you have them sit. And then I would run Bruno as the false nine if they're unable to find a nine. And you put
Mm-hmm.
Van de Beek and Fred next to the next so as the two midfielders.
Oh
And let
yeah,
me say
forget the Salah beacon.
so let me say they buy Anthony, right? You have a front three, Anthony on the right, Sancho on the left, and Bruno false nine. Right? I if they keep
Mm-hmm.
Ronaldo, Ronaldo could play there, but then you have Van de Beek and Fred running box. So that's a complete 180 from the midfield that they have now. Because you have so
Mm-hmm.
much legs, so much energy in that midfield, and you have somebody sitting, Calvin Phillips or Wilfred Ndidi, who able to screen that back line. So Varane and
Mm-hmm.
Maguire do have to rush out and make them foolish tackles and then get exposed.
somebody
Mm-hmm.
go and call Ten Hag or Man U and see if they need a assistant coach or strategist or something. Cause I mean, what this boy saying here, this is exactly what they need. Like
And
that
I think
that midfield and that front three would be amazing on the Ten Hag, I would think.
they actually have the fullbacks, you know. I think they should sell Wan Bissaka actually. He's not a Ten Hag
Same.
player and
Same.
he really and I think Arsenal will do well to buy Wan Bissaka, you know, because he would fit in Arsenal. He and Tomiyasu are the same type of players, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that Dallo and Alex Telles, or Dallo and Shaw, they do need another right back in the same vein that Dallo is. But you organize that they have good fullbacks, right? They would need
Um, you know who's a nice player to fit a system like that? McLaren's.
that's a real good shout, you know.
Yeah,
That's a
you see
real
when
good
he
shout. Yeah.
plays, you see when he plays in a team that has the ball all the time, continuity pressing and whatnot. He looks like
Mhm.
a much better player.
You know who else? As you say that, your boy Tarek Lamptey. It would hurt my
Yeah, there's
heart
a
to see him wear a Man U jersey,
it,
though. But
it will, but it will
but
be a nice move for him.
you put him on that side, and you have Anthony cutting in from the right wing, and you give Lamptey all the space in the world. You know
Hmm.
that's the type of forward thinking that you need.
To be honest,
You need to
to be
see the
honest,
plays
they
before
should
you
they
buy the
should they
player.
should go for both Brighton fullbacks
Yeah,
because
no,
Yeah.
I don't, I
you
don't think
you don't think what
Cucurella would be as cheap. To be honest, I think Cucurella would be
they know
expensive.
he wouldn't be as cheap, but he will do the role for them very well.
he
Yeah,
would,
you're seeing that
yes.
you're seeing he doing very good at Brighton right now. So
But now I think so. It's have options, and the last
mm-hmm.
two we get one of the two CDMs are called, whether it's NDD or Phillips. Either one would work fine. You get Anthony. Anthony is essential, I think, in that team, and you get a right back, whether it's Max Aarons or Lamptey, and then that's let me say that would be around 180 to 200 already. Now we have to look at a centre back.
Who would you use for keeper though? You go with De Gea or you would try to
Might
get
as well keep
Henderson
him.
or
Might as well keep him. I would sell Dean Henderson to make some money because really and
Yeah, they
truly
can send him to go.
Yeah.
he can play in a year and might as well keep the here at the end of the day. Like he's not the
Mm-hmm.
best, but it's not a priority option right now. Yeah, they need a keeper who good with their feet like Edison, like Allison. Um, Nick Pope could be a good shot, but I see Newcastle want to buy him. And if Newcastle one? Something he was
You know
linked to.
who's available right now. You know who's available right now. Kilo Navas.
I
Nah,
would
don't
say yeah, but you're doing a project for the future, and he's a bit old, so
Yeah.
do with that. Do with that.
No, it's not to start for Man U. He can play back up to the here.
Yeah, but I Areola could be a shot as well,
Yeah,
actually,
true.
because he's on
All,
loan at West Ham right
all,
now. Is West Ham.
all these
West Ham wanted
PSG
to buy
keepers.
West Ham wanted to buy Nick Pope.
Right neck.
West Ham buy
Okay.
Nick Pope. Yeah, then so they have options. I think, but again, it's about having the foresight to see what you want to do early and then to
Mm-hmm.
implement it and then build the side around from there. It'll be interesting to see too where the players that they let go, where they go, and how they do.
so I guess
I
we could start
personally,
talking about that one time.
yeah, I personally would actually keep Rashford. I would let
Same.
Martial go. Um, I would keep Lingard, but if Lingard don't want to stay, then and I
No,
think
Lingard is a free agent at the end of the
okay,
season.
well then,
Yeah.
well then, West Ham get you.
Yeah, fine it.
If
Uh,
Rannick say Eric Bailly, he not impressed with Eric Bailly, then they have to let him go. But
about Lindelof. Lindelof.
that's
Lindelof do have a
exactly
long contract.
Lindelof is to get somebody to buy him because
Lindelof have a pretty long contract, so he until 2024.
he's a good ball playing defender, but again he's soft, right?
I think it's time to go to Serie. Really and truly.
Yeah,
So I think the free agents at the end of the season is Mata, Cavani, Pogba, and Lingard, right? And I think we all know
Yeah.
all of them gonna leave,
Mm-hmm.
right? I don't think any one of them staying, right?
When
And
the last
then
time
next
Cavani played?
season,
the problem is to get players like Martial out. Who go and buy Anthony Martial? Who go and pay a whole set of money to buy Martial and then pay him a big wage on top of that? Like maybe he goes back to Monaco, but other than that, I really don't see many
Mm-hmm.
teams looking for a player like Anthony Martial. I could see him doing well in Monaco though, honestly.
Going back home. Yeah.
Going back home. Martial and Ben Yedder, what a partnership that would be.
Has he even found his way into Villas yet?
Inter?
No it.
No.
Has he no it?
I still waiting.
We will talk with that guy next time, yes, because I don't know. He had so much promise. And just, he's 26 now and still can't live up to anything. Well,
Who,
poor guy.
Martial?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's 26 already. Wow.
Look how time has fly. Eh? Look how time has fly.
And he not really doing much at Sevilla. He not
Yeah.
contributing much. And
Yeah,
that's
I see
Sevilla.
that He
That
only played
Sevilla team is
games.
a team that lacks goals, and he went there, didn't solve a thing. It's like, what was the point of that move?
To Lime, even across straight to Lime.
But now I think
Ah,
to conclude the thing with Manu, they need to give them time. They need to show support, but they also need to understand that even if they get all the transfers we spoke about, top four would be their ceiling, and there's no escaping that. You can't dislodge a machine like Liverpool and like Man City in one transfer window, and you can't dislodge them because it took those teams years. It takes City a decade to build what they have now, you know?
mhm,
So it takes years and years to build that, and it would take Man United years and years to build what they have. So it's about understanding that and understanding that even though you are the mighty Man United, you're going to need some time to build the team that you want to become.
mhm.
So I could draw a
So,
little comparison with Manu and I guess City and Liverpool, right? So that is something similar to in La Liga where we have Barcelona having a system and they usually would go for players who fit that system, right? And then you have Real Madrid who usually just go for players who could bowl, right? Players who could make a difference, right? And that's kind of what Manchester United have been doing for long as well, trying to go for players who, well, these players could do well, so bring them together and they'll play well, right? But they have not been, you know, playing the players in the position that they want, players that in the position they need to play, and then there's not been like a period where these players have been able to all click on the same page at the same time. So they need to probably, I would say, go to more systematic approach for at least a short time to build a core, and then they can start adding back players who make a difference rather than a system player.
mhm.
Mhm.
So that's it. Forget about it. Manchester United. Eh? We can move on. All right, all right. So next up, we have you all know that Rudiger is leaving Chelsea. You all saw
Yeah, I
it.
think he confirmed, Tuchel confirmed today that he said so.
Yeah, right. Jordan probably wanna cry, but
Yes.
Jordan probably wanna cry, but I think I
All
think
right.
I
There's an interesting panel you have here.
it is. I think to be honest, let me get what I really feel.
I feel he go
Before
flop. Eh? I
Tukaric,
just saying that he go flop.
I think so too. I think so too.
Yeah.
But before Tukaric, I wanted Rudiger out bad.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Right? Rudiger was horrible, 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 horrible. And I it had showed because on Antonio Conte, he was good in the back three. He was really good. The Conte left, whoever else came, he played the back four, couldn't couldn't
Sorry,
couldn't do it. Right?
sorry,
Just
and
couldn't do it.
Lampard.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, and Lampard just couldn't do it.
Yeah,
Lampard didn't play him in his back four. I think Sarri did a bit a while. Did he?
yeah. He tried. He
Or
tried,
Yeah.
yeah,
He
but
tried.
he tried. Yeah, but it really didn't work. Right. So we saw that he can play in a back four. Right. Took a game. He put back the back three. It worked and whatever. He showed that he's one of the best in the world in a back three. And whatnot. But I I kind of glad that he's leaving because it gives us the opportunity now to actually say, okay, we want to play a back four, we can. We don't have to have this big bite liability. Usually the guy in the back there playing, We don't have to think about this guy. Yes, we have to go and look for replacements, right? Because he's leaving, but I think it's the best time for him to move on. Chelsea needs
and
to evolve some more. So yeah.
as a Madrid fan, I would want us, if we buy Rudiger, to play a back three. And my back three of choice would be Mendy, Alaba, Rudiger, or Rudiger, Alaba, Militao. That
Mm-hmm.
would be. I would hope we play up if we buy this guy and we paying him as much money as he wants. We have to. We had to play him in our back three because maybe he might do good in Spain. You never know.
So,
Maybe
so
Yeah,
what
who
about
knows? Because
putting
it's different.
Alaba as a wing back and putting Mendy and Militao with him?
Alaba will lose his pace soon, and that would only be a short-term fix rather than a long-term solution because Alaba is in his 30s already. So yeah, playing Alaba as a wing back for one season would be good, but and he is the best crosser of the ball in the entire team. But I personally, if you're looking at the future, Militao, Rudiger, and Alaba would be in our back three. But either way, I hope if we buy Rudiger and we intend to start him, we play a back three. But I think for a free signing is not really a bad shout,
Bad signing. Yeah.
especially given we said the same thing about Alaba last season. We thought Alaba he really a good centre back thing. He was been our best centre back this season and been one of the most important players for us this season.
No, but in
Maybe
any case, a free Rudiger versus having Vallejo on your team, that's not even a matter of discussion, right?
true, true, true. But
So,
back to Chelsea. Back to Chelsea. You
Right.
know,
So yeah. So Rudiger gone. To confirm this morning. Blah 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 blah. We all think are possible replacement for this guy for next season.
Christiansen gone as well, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
So
he's going to
Yes.
Barca.
replacements, replace the two of them. Let me hear it.
Yeah. So right, there are a lot of young talented centre backs out there. You all know that. But
Mm-hmm.
it's who could come to the Premier League and actually make an impact. Right. I personally like Nico Schotterback from Friday um as one of the replacements for two of them. Um, there's also I I'm not even watching Kunde again. I don't know how this whole Kunde talk come in the first place. Yeah, yeah, he like a little football, but
Anybody
I don't know, boy. I don't know, boy.
earlier, earlier remember when I was saying Kunde is not that great a centre back, and as a centre back who is 5'10" or something like that, man,
Yeah, yeah, it doesn't make
he
no
will
sense.
get he will look like Nathan Ake in the Premier League.
Yeah, you will,
Because
you will.
Ake is 5'11", right? And that's the main thing with Ake is that he can't defend aerially. So
Hmm.
Kunde would be the same problem in the Premier League.
Yeah.
So
So
Jordan, who would you buy?
Now, I was actually thinking to look within the league, and I was thinking about Wolves and Kilman to buy
That is
him
a
and bring
that's
him
a
in.
beautiful shout. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie. I that didn't cross my mind, but
I think
that's a
that we need to start looking more in the league for some of these things. Like, we are just failing when we go outside. So that's the first person that came to my mind, honestly.
that's an excellent shout. Kilman is a left-footed centre back that can play in a back three, play at right side and the left side, and he's an excellent on the ball.
the
Wow, now
problem
that
is Chelsea. The problem is Chelsea are looking like a player like not going to look at a player like him.
No.
mhm.
Yeah. Right.
my
But
answer,
Well,
my answer would be Paul Torres. The reason my answer would be Paul Torres is because one, he's young. Two, he's on the market. And three, he's left footed, so he could replace Rudiger in the left side of the back three, but he could also play very well. And he plays very well alongside a veteran centre back in Raul Albiol, who is much younger than Thiago Silva, but still very slow. So you
mhm,
combine Thiago Silva and Pau Torres in a back four, or you put him in a back three as well, he would be good. And I think he would he would offer the same thing that Chalobah offers on the right side in terms of being able to run with the ball. He's good as a passer as well. Only thing that he lacks that Rudiger gives is that passion, that physicality, that ability to fire up everybody else around him. That's the only thing that I think he would struggle to add. But other than that, I think he would almost be a seamless replacement for Rudiger.
Well, my option, right, who I mentioned, Scatterback, he's also a left-sided centre back. He's also left-footed.
Mhm.
He could actually defend, unlike Pau. He's actually good at tackling. 'Cause I think he'd be more of a fit
Mhm.
for Rudiger, to be honest. Actually, more of a fit. He's not a lot like Rudiger, but he is defense first. He's a defense first player. He's been one of the best centre backs in the Bundesliga this season, if not the best. That's how good he is right now.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
so actually, he is. So if you watch the top ratings here from so far, let me just place up here. Uh, right. So if
No,
you
but
watch the top ratings here, if you watching, he's the seventh top rated player in the Bundesliga this season.
mhm.
Right, and he is the best defender in Bundesliga this season. He's very good at positioning, the tackle. He has good pace, good height. I think he's
He's the
like,
highest rated centre back out of all the players there.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think
But
What
he's
nah,
about
like,
Ginter?
nah,
nah.
nah.
That can go on.
Ginter reaches level. He reaches level.
Yeah, and he's 6'3".
I think the Killman shout is excellent though. Like
Mm.
if they could afford him, that would be a
Yeah,
nice buy. Because he would cost real plenty. He would cost like 60, 70 around there.
So who's your pick, Ishmael?
So for me, I kind of find centre back is a really hard position right now to fill
Mm-hmm.
because
It is.
there's a lot of names around there, right? And you see that the names come in and then they come and they do adapt to the team, they do adapt to the league, they do play well, and besides like Alaba, Silva, like those older players, right? You haven't really seen young players come in and hit the ground running, right? I'm not sure if you all can name any that recently,
Christopher Ayer has been an excellent signing, I
right?
think, for Brentford. I think he's
Yes,
been
yes.
good. He's been
Yeah,
good.
he's been good. Yeah,
Yeah.
nobody say no.
Yeah, but
This is
they
the
don't
next
really
pick
have
then.
any big names of the centre backs that, you know, just
As of
the
recently.
young centre backs of recently. A
Yeah,
lot of
as of
them, the
recently, yeah.
big ones, right? Any of them who have a lot of hype behind them, you see they come in and then
Not many
they
of
do
them
not do
has
good.
moved recently, though.
Or even the ones who haven't moved, you see they just start getting exposed. So, like, for me, I really can't, you know, call anyone that I would particularly say. As much problems as Kunde has, I still think he have a lot of pluses in him. So I would probably just go with him because he already linked to the club, he already seen happening, you know.
he was crying
And
on a plane to come.
exactly, like if I had to go ideally, I would go with Pau Torres. I'd love Pau Torres at Real Madrid as well. Pau Torres at Chelsea, I think would do very well. But probably the more realistic one is Kunde. And I think he's young and he has time on his side. I think he could get better. So
I
I
think the height
think
is the problem, boy.
with the height is the problem, man.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
short man like Kunde and go and cut it in the
In the
Premier League
Premier
when you're
League. Yeah,
facing Chris Wood.
would.
Chris Wood will beat that boy. Watch.
honestly, I feel like Chelsea should have kind of hold on to Tomori, but we
boy,
Yeah,
Oh yes.
boy, or
well,
even Magway.
okay, he has.
Magway, yeah, okay. He has
Nah, but
been
the thing with him,
excellent
right?
for
And
Palace.
the thing with Palace on a whole is they still can't defend set pieces.
That's
they get
Palace. That is not.
they But they have
We
two
have a
tall
set
centre
piece
backs.
coach. We have a
They
set
have
piece coach.
they have
Yeah,
two
no
tall
worries.
centre backs. Gehi and Anderson are tall, and Kuyate is tall, and yet still Zaha is tall, and they still
And it's
can't
something that
defend.
I work on. But I find it was weird that nobody mentioned the perfect centre back. Right? But who it wouldn't happen. But he would be the perfect signing. You're laughing at some point.
If you say Malangsa or something, am I?
Malangsa, no sir. Marquinhos.
Marquinhos is PSG captain too.
I know. I say he would be perfect signing, but it's not idealistic. It's
Marquinhos
not
is the
realistic.
best centre back in the world. So what you trying to say?
I mean, even if you
What you
even
trying
if
to
you
say?
get Kimpembe, you know.
Nah,
I'm trying to say he'd be perfect, but it ain't gonna happen.
that's like saying by Messi. Problem solved. Marquinhos is the Messi of centre backs.
I mean, Messi's probably on the market now if you want him. And
Nah,
honestly, I
you
think I'm not sure when we're going to address this, but there have been rumors that the whole investment into PSG on a whole is going to be pulled as soon as the World Cup is finished. And I
yeah,
can
I
see
think
that
so.
happening. So, like, at some point, we're going to have to address that, right? We
Hmm.
Yes, they have the funds now, but somebody going to buy over PSG eventually. And the kind of pull they have, the kind of players they have, they could probably be in for like a little period where Barcelona is in or Man U post Fergie, you know? So,
Yeah, but that'll be next season, I think.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
They would
Next summer.
obviously PSG not selling Marquinhos the right before the World Cup. You know,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
like
for sure. For
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah. Sure, sure.
But from next summer, I can see a lot of PSG players leaving. Like even Mbappe, I could see him signing a 1 year deal just to cover off the World Cup because he'll get a huge amount of money being thrown at him just for a 1 year deal or something.
mhm. Another centre back that I like, but I think he's found his level is Gianluca Mancini at Roma. I don't know.
Mancini's a good centre back.
He's a good centre back, and I have real good memories from him from FM 20, I believe. But he's a good centre back, but I do think he could make it in the Premier League either. Something
All
about
of
Italian
those.
defenders in the Premier League is just do work out. Just do
Oh
work
my
out for whatever
gosh,
reason.
I forgot about one of my other options that I really wanted at Chelsea. Milan Skriniar.
I've been hearing things that he could be on the market, huh?
Yeah,
And
it's possible. And we have something that Inter want
was
that we don't want.
was
What do you mean? Lukaku?
oh
I mean, you sure don't want him though?
yeah,
What do
yeah,
you mean? If I sure they want them back bad.
they want him, yeah, they want him. But
So
I think they value Skriniar more than they would value Lukaku, eh?
yeah,
If you're being real.
I think so too. I think so too. But
Skriniar is
it
their
would a
most
try,
important
right?
player.
It would a try, right?
I mean, any Atletico centre backs at this point, I would take as well.
Atleti ain't selling anybody.
I haven't heard about Jose Maria Jimenez in a while.
Man, injury prone, so he's been
Yeah,
injury prone his entire career.
yeah, I know that. I know that.
Yeah.
I know that.
Hopefully he'll be fit for the World Cup, but
Yeah.
it'll be a
And
shame if Uruguay don't happen.
there's another Serie defender, but I don't think he's ready to move to the Premier. That's Bremer from Torino. He's
Yeah.
a good defender, yeah, but I don't think he's ready to make. If he jump
I
into the
think
Prem, probably
no,
to a smaller team.
I think if Chelsea managed to get Skriniar, then Bremer would be a perfect replacement for him at Inter.
Hmm.
Yeah. I just think that, he I think he's ready for the step up to like
Hmm.
Champions League level without going to
Hmm.
the Premier League, I said. But I think out of everybody we talk about, Max Kilman is still the best shot because listen,
You're like Maxwell.
nah, Kilman is a really good footballer. Like
Yeah.
he ticks all the, but he's tall. He's a ball playing defender. He's either footed, even though he's primarily left footed. He plays in a back three. He could play right side or left side. he used to play futsal before he became a
Mm-hmm.
professional footballer. So he and
Mm-hmm.
Edison have the little tackles as well. Man ticks all the boxes.
Yeah, the problem is Chelsea's not going to watch a player like him.
Yeah, true.
That's the problem
If I was Man, I'd actually go for
for
him.
Max.
Go for
Yeah.
Max. Though he's. I think he should be in the England squad after the World Cup. I think he should be in the England squad for the next Euros. He should be one of those players that him and Tomori. That should be the
Mm-hmm.
next England centre back partnership for the next big major tournament after the World Cup.
So that's it with the centre back replacements. So you all have Bastoni is also a good shout.
You're quicker get Skriniar than get Bastoni, so
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because, and it's because of Bastoni's age.
Inter will sell everybody on their team before they sell Bastoni.
Oh gosh, let me dream now, boy. Let me dream now. Right? I need two centre backs, right?
There's
Possibly
another
three,
player from the
right?
Bundesliga that I really like, Guardiola.
Yeah,
He's a
from Leipzig. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. He can play wing back too. I'm not wing back. I'm
Mhm.
left back. So he's a good
Yeah.
option. He's
But
really a good option.
again, I don't think he anywhere close to making that move.
Mm-mm. I don't think so
But we
either.
talk about Rudiger replacements, right? What about the right back situation? You know, I
So,
see
well,
I see Aspi might leave, and I see a certain team might buy a certain right back as well.
I
So
mean, I think that is
Jordan,
probably
these Real
not going
Madrid
to
fans are
happen
really unrealistic, boy.
I know, oh
because
no,
gosh.
no, no. I mean, read the chat, read the conversation we was having there. I see Reece
Yeah,
James
I
is
know.
unrealistic,
Yeah, yeah.
but I mean, if you all let me say
I see
to
Ben
sort
throwing
out
a little shoot at him. I see Vinny throwing a little post at him. They're
if you
making
all
no
do
Yeah,
moves.
because I want,
find
because
if
I
you all
want
do
him
find
bad.
somebody to buy your club and thing, you never know. Who
Boy,
gonna pay a little Reece James? Parents might say, "Yo, I could pay you. I will provide you sufficient transport, private jet,
mm-hmm.
rather than
That,
taking the bus."
what's going on with
Yep.
these Real Madrid fans, boy?
It
Is
was,
what
hey,
they,
hey, hey, you all find a owner yet? No.
we're gonna find one just
All
now.
right.
Don't worry,
Exactly.
Don't worry,
right?
Lewis Hamilton will
Nuts.
drive in and take over. Don't worry.
And Serena Williams. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We never tell you to sell Akimi. That's what I thought.
You hit it
Hey,
because he had there, boy.
hey,
As a low one, boy.
rest my case, yes. All I saying is you'll still gonna need a right back anyhow. Cause speak
Yeah.
injury.
Alright. Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
who
We
who
do,
you
we
would
do.
take at right back?
Alright. So let's see. It's all according to what we're gonna play. If we're gonna stick at the back three, or if we're gonna play a back four.
Probably
Hmm.
gonna move to a back
Because
four if two centre backs leaving.
My
yeah, I
my
think so
my
too.
my pick would be Lamptey once again.
To bring him back.
I think homecoming, bring back
Hmm.
the youth home.
Yeah. Or even could have bring back Livramento.
Yeah, but see, he got a big
Actually, and
injury today.
Livramento, yeah,
Yeah.
because a big injury, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And even my shout for Manu, Max Aarons,
Hmm.
he's also a good option if and he could play both wing back and full back. He'll fit in
Yeah.
and he'll do a very good role.
Yeah.
Um, who else for right back? Right, you see right. There's a lot of talented right backs these days, especially in England. So he could call a whole star right backs. But you had to find the perfect fit, right?
True. True.
And you had to find somebody who's going to play behind Reece James, who will be willing to play behind Reece James because most of the times, yes, Reece James getting a little injured these days, but most of the
And
time
that's why I think
he's starting.
Lamptey would be good because Lamptey can play a full 90 minutes in any
Nobody,
case.
nobody. but he left. He left because he wasn't getting to start. So
Yeah,
you
but
think he'll come back to do the same thing?
he
Well,
do
I can
play
solve that
every.
issue for you, you know. Just send my streams.
He do.
Oh my gosh.
Ah,
Lamps,
ah.
he do play every game for Brighton in any case. And
It's
I
true
think,
because he injury prone. But
yeah, I think if he's being realistic, he would tell himself, "Hey, look, I's a man. You know, I can't play every game. I can't play 40 games a season, so might as well rotate." And with Lamptey and Reece James, Chelsea will have two of the best three English left backs in the country. So
correct. Yeah, you are correct. But it's all up to him. It's all up to
yeah,
him. And Chelsea could try to bring down his value by saying that he's really injury prone. So,
yeah.
so who knows? And talking about when right back, yeah, talk about left back too because we have a good amount of them to sell. We have a good amount of them to sell.
I find you all just disrespect Marcus Alonso too much, too
Marcos
much.
Alonso is now is how
Well,
old now, Rick?
Who assisted Pulisic today, sir?
Oh
God.
Oh
gosh. Oh
gosh, oh
gosh. How
gosh.
old Marcos Alonso is now?
Marcus Alonso is 31, but like the man still have about 2 or 3 years left at least.
Well,
Do
take him to
a
Real Madrid now. Bring him
No,
back
no, no,
home.
no, no, no.
Bring
I
him back
do
good.
home.
a
I good. I
So,
a
so
real
we
good.
must keep him.
Yes.
We want to go to our back four possibly.
so
Yeah,
so
yeah,
What do
have
you
yeah,
want
yeah,
to
yeah.
do?
Yeah, I'll make you a deal. I'll make you a deal. I'll take Marcus Alonso, but give me Reece James.
Oh my gosh.
Nah, it don't look so.
I check in something. I hold on, right? I just want to see
Right?
something.
Everybody's gonna say keep Marcos Alonso. He's a good player. So why only take him? As I say that, there's back up quick.
He should be in jail, but anyway.
Yeah, let me not go there. But
Yeah,
yeah, he should
listen.
be in jail though.
As far as I know, Alonso have more goals and assists this season than a certain striker, a
Is that
certain
right?
Romelu Lukaku.
I don't know that guy, nah.
So,
I don't know who he's talking about.
so, so I
I
mean,
think he,
I mean,
I think that guy's stuck in the past. I think he's still playing in 2021.
oh look, he have more goals and assists than Timo Werner too. What do you know?
All right. Okay. We didn't need to bring
You,
up
you
that.
ever keep going? Let me check Pulisic. Hold on. Yeah, he have more than Pulisic.
Excuse,
He have
excuse.
more than Hakim Ziyech. So, oh god.
The guy is ready. What this season? What
Yeah,
this season
in the Premier League, yes.
in the Premier League?
Yeah, he has 7, Ziyech has 6
Guys, oh, that goes and a plus assist. Oh, okay,
goals and
no problem.
assists. Yes, sir. Yes.
All right,
He
no
is he
problem.
is he is one of the most efficient, creative players in that Chelsea team. You can't tell me no,
Okay, okay.
right?
I never say no.
What
I
what
never
about
said
Right.
the
no.
Ajax right back?
But check go and check his defender his defender.
Mazraoui strongly linked to Barcelona. He probably might go
Yeah,
Barcelona.
Yeah, but
Serginho,
yeah,
that's
but
2.0, you know.
but check out his defensive numbers, huh?
Nah, we don't need that. That's what Rudiger there for. So that's why Rudiger plays on the left side. You don't know that?
Well, that is why it's time to go to a back four and sell this guy too. Right? Right? And then we still have Emerson to sell. We still have Rahman Baba to sell. I don't follow know who's that.
Spinazzola.
Who is?
Right? And who else we had? We have Kennedy to get out. And we have
Kennedy,
somebody
like,
else. We have somebody else to get out too.
Spinazzola still on the books too, I think. Oh,
Brother, we
yes,
never had Spinazzola, brother.
oh, that
You're
was
mixing it up.
alone. Okay.
We never had
Sorry.
Spinazzola, brother.
No, the other one. Zappa Costa. My
I think
bad.
he got
yeah, he
sold.
got, I think.
Oh, he
He
gets
got sold.
sold. Okay.
Yeah.
Zappa Costa.
He went. Yeah, he got sold to Atalanta.
I
I
mean,
think Chelsea is time to sell Hudson Odoi. I just
no. The
I
man
Ah,
needs
just
well,
find
to. I think the man's a
he need.
quality footballer. He just need to not be injured.
Nah, but he
Yeah,
do play. He can't play ahead of the players that's ahead of him.
I wouldn't
He's
say
not going to.
can't.
He's not going
I
to
wouldn't say
dislodge
can't.
Mason Mount. He's not going to dislodge Timo Werner. He's not going to dislodge Kai Havertz.
Okay, so
So
let's say Chelsea full start back four, right? And they play 4-3-3, right?
right.
Timo Werner is not going to play with him. You know this,
So then
right?
why are you changing though?
So you really feel that Tuchel like Timo Werner? You really
I
feel that Tuchel player?
I find Timo Werner is an excellent player in the system with the front two,
But
with Havertz
yes,
and Mount in
yes,
the
he
turn.
is.
I
Yes,
think
he is.
that's a nice system. Why change it? You
Why
understand?
change it?
Why change it? It's
Because
working. Why change it? Well, you
you put
beat
it in
Real
Real
Madrid
Madrid
with
now.
that system. Why change
Well,
it?
you keep well, you keep it in Real Madrid now. I don't think that as assistant he is going to keep it on the
I
right.
just find
I don't
I
think so.
think no, I think if you all change that system, you all will find it much difficult to beat certain teams in the league. Take the Southampton game for example,
Hmm.
right? You if you're playing a back four, you all could play a back four against teams that sit back. But if you look at the way the Premier League has been going, you look at the teams that have been coming up and the teams that have been going down. Let me say Burnley goes down this season, right? You have more teams wanting to play positive football, and I think the back three system it helps you all against teams that play positively. It doesn't help you all when you play teams that sit back, like what happened today with West Ham. But against teams that play positively, like the Brentfords, like your Leeds, like the Fulham
Hmm.
that's gonna come up,
I mean, Brentford beat
your
us 4-1. Eh?
Brentford beat you all 4-1 with a back four, not so? In
It
a
was a back
heavily,
four, Jordan.
I think it was
I
a
didn't
back
watch
four,
it.
and it was
I
a
was watching the
heavily
game.
rotated team as well.
Jordan know what you think that she knows she gonna get disappointed in it.
Let me check it for
Exactly.
you.
I don't think it was a back four, boy.
I'll check it for you.
I'm pulling it up here already. Yeah, it
Yeah, it
was
was
a
a
back
back
four. You
four.
were right. You were back four.
What I'm
You
telling you,
were
boy, hey, you're having me doubting myself here.
right.
Yeah, I'm doubting myself here.
Why you having the chief Manchester
When
United strategist doubted himself, boy?
Yeah, I sorry, but man,
Yeah,
thief.
I do find you all should change your system because it will work in. You win a Champions League with that system. That back three was nice. You just need
I
to
think I
replace the
think he
players.
said I think he said he prayed a back three to defend Thiago Silva. It was to
Right.
help him. Yeah.
And guess what? Thiago
But how
Silva
long
is now
yes, but how long is Thiago Silva gonna stay there? You know what?
well
Yes,
on
Thiago is what 38 now?
well
Right?
until
Till he
you
till he's 41? Until y'all can replace him?
exactly until you could
Yeah,
replace
but
Thiago Silva.
who says his level is gonna stay at that level? Yes, he's
Because
playing
it's
good
Thiago
now.
Silva. Thiago
Okay,
Silva
okay.
has always been at a constant level. World class.
Nobody said no. Nobody said no. Nobody said no. But he's getting
The
older.
only side I ever see mash up that back three. The only player that I see mash up that back three was Callum
Vinicius
Robinson.
Jr.
Callum
Hmm.
Robinson. That's the only player I ever see completely mash up that back three.
I
And
hate that guy, you know.
you all don't play here every day, So you're good.
We'll see how it goes, sir. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. But possible left back replacements because we don't want to start the season next season
And you all were linked
because
with
Chilwell gonna be
Sousa
out.
the beginning of this year.
Yeah, we will. Yeah, we will.
Hmm.
So, I mean, could go
Yeah,
back
so
there.
it's a nice option. Even if we stick into a back three, there's um there's a very experienced option in Kostic.
Yeah.
Right. There's even if you look inside the league, there's even Cucurella, right?
There's
Who
also
we
and this is a real Chelsea signing. There's Alexandru, who I think Juventus would be looking to sell.
That is
I
a Chelsea signing.
That is a Chelsea signing in my
Come
opinion.
on. You hearing cricket across there by God. What was that one? The man said he refuses to even acknowledge that level of we'll keep this PG, so we wouldn't say what level of what.
Nah, but he
right?
reminds me of the Philippe Louis signing, and Philippe Louis win our league for earlier. So
Alexandro is beyond his years, sir. Right?
I
Beyond
mean,
it completely.
you're why you're looking to sign a player? Like I think he would be a good backup for Ben Chilwell. He would be a nice backup option, like experienced head of the bench to play in the League Cup, the FA Cup. You know, a nice
Because
backup option.
we need somebody who will play until Chilwell is back. We don't know how long Chilwell will be out for until next season, right?
And
Right?
he start back training, sir. He back in
That
training.
okay, okay. That still don't mean anything. Right? And Alexandro is not good. Right?
Well, here
Why
what,
you do
sir?
buy Alexandro? Huh? Go and buy Alexandro and play him now. How about
It,
you get, how about you buy Alexandro and give me foot and give me Mendy? I think
it
that's
always
a good trade.
these men that tell you, yeah, this side for your side, you could take this player, but they don't want them for their side.
Yeah,
Then. Very true,
exactly,
very true.
exactly.
I go say
Bring Mendy.
I
Conor
go say
Mendy link
Theo
up with your cousin,
Hernandez.
yes?
I
Yeah,
go say
I
Theo
think
Hernandez.
that
I'll
can
take
link up.
Theo Hernandez to my side.
Yeah,
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 it's
nah.
insane. It's insane.
Nobody can afford that. Nobody had the facilities for that.
I think they're going to
What
go about 80 plus. That's what Sticky
Nobody had the
says.
facilities for that. Serginho
All
Dest
right.
might be on the market as well. But I mean,
Vic, I think we should move on from this
yeah,
topic. All right,
let's
guys,
move on. Let's
let's
move
move
on.
on. Right.
My shot was Lamptey. I will stick with Lamptey, right?
All right. All
And
right.
I will stick
So,
with Alonso as well.
all right. So, guys, so Bayern Munich won the Bundesliga again, right? Again. Well, when was the last time a team win that? That was Dortmund. Dortmund. How much years ago, right?
After 11, yeah.
Right. So I kind of getting sick now, right? I getting sick now. I just find that you have all these teams. Yes, Bayern has the money and whatnot to stay in the dominance, right?
Hmm.
But you have all these other teams, and trying to tell me one of those teams can't even push Bayern or even try to win the league, boy. Why is this? Why is this?
because
And
they don't have
this
the
is I want to talk about.
resources, they don't have the
Yeah.
capabilities. It's not like the Premier League where the money is split up, a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like La Liga where, they have multiple teams having the money, not just one.
No, but
It's more like,
even
the Liga where only
even
PSG have the
still,
money.
right? The Premier League is going to become like that if trends continue. Because
Mm-hmm.
if City and Liverpool continue their
Yeah,
dominance,
but
they can.
it's not gonna be a one team dominance, right?
Well,
Mm-hmm.
right, but granted, the only reason Liverpool reached where they reached is because they had the resources too. They had, Fenway's Sports Group that were willing to spend the money and back them and give them the time and build the project that they wanted to build, right? But that City and Liverpool duopoly of the Premier League is going to last. I can't see any other team coming close unless you have a disaster like 2015 where everybody just decided to play crap and Leicester took advantage
And
of that.
I don't find Liverpool have a lot of resources. Liverpool thing is that they buy smart.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
buy who fit their team.
Yeah, but you don't need a lot of
Which is
resources if you spend your resources wisely,
But
right?
yeah.
correct. Correct. Right. So that also beats what you said before, right? You said that yes, these small teams will have the resources, but if they buy well, right, then it's possible that because Dortmund don't have the resources, but Dortmund won the league,
But Dortmund does buy well.
right? Right. Exactly. Exactly.
So
So why these other teams, can't establish something where, maybe well, everybody except Leipzig, because Leipzig buy well too, right?
Mhm. I think it's more fitting with how well run Bayern are as a club.
Mm-hmm.
That team from front to back, And it's not like they're going after big players and they're going after big names and them kind of thing. Bayern's
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
record signings are, I believe, is Lucas Hernandez, who was an excellent signing for them, and then Corentin Tolisso, who was a horrible signing for them.
Yeah.
But other than Tolisso, like you could name any bad Bayern signings because you really can't. A lot of their
Mm-hmm.
signings they come good and they have a purpose. They buy them for a
That's the
purpose.
thing. Bayern
Yeah.
Sorry,
goes
Makroka.
after signings that they need.
Sorry.
Makroka.
Oh gosh. They needed Mark Rucker's place in that team was to be Javi Martinez's
Yeah,
replacement.
he's
Martinez never used
in
to
there.
play. Mark Rucker don't play either. It's like he's just they need a Spanish man there for some reason. That's the only
Okay,
reason.
okay, okay,
No,
no problem.
that's the thing, right? So Bayern only goes after players that they need, right? And they don't
Mm-hmm.
even go after players that okay, well, we need this position to fill. They go after players in that position, specific players that they will fit the team, right? And if you look at Bayern's team, they have a very good core, right? And I can't even say
The
core because
depth.
it's basically the whole team, but they have a very good
Yeah,
core that they work with, right? And to dislodge that core is going to be very, very hard. You have to build up a core of players that is almost capable of matching them, and that's something that's really, really hard to do.
And
Like,
I know Jordan and Daquan might not like this, but Bayern are the only team that I know that are like one of the biggest clubs in the world and still actively go after decent European youngsters. You look at Musiala,
Yeah.
for example. I know that's probably real hurt earlier, but
Yes.
Musiala came real good, and Bayern knew that, and that's why they wanted him. And the same thing,
well,
Bayern's
his problem with
biggest transfer
Musiala
target,
is
their biggest transfer target for a number of years was Callum Hudson-Odoi, and
Mm-hmm.
Chelsea
yeah,
was like, nah. But
look, you
Bayern
have
wanted him
Kingsley
for a reason.
Coman, who had what 11 leagues now.
Yeah, he's won a league
Yeah.
every season for his career.
Mm-hmm.
but Musiala problem was that he just wanted to leave, boy. He was ready to play, and he would not get out of Chelsea. At 17, oh gosh, you're not coming to Chelsea at 17 and starting. Let me real,
And
right?
that's what
And
gonna
he knew
happen
that.
with Conor Gallagher. Watch and see. That's that's gonna happen with Conor Gallagher.
I know Tuchel said that this guy has a spot in the team next season, right?
Yeah, benching for Mason Mount, but I digress.
I can't even fight it now.
Yeah, you can't fight it. It's either one or the
Our
other. It's either
our
Mount or
our mid
Gallagher.
our midfield too is going to be Coach Kovacic and Conor Gallagher. Please hit me up.
And you have Jorginho and Kante starting in the midfield too. Come on,
Who
man.
who who? Them going next season, brother.
Uh-huh.
Both
Okay.
at both well, Kante. Let's be real. Kante is beyond it. Right?
Yeah.
He's not the same player anymore. Although we talking about Bayern Munich here, right? So let's go back to Bayern Munich now.
Hmm.
Right? I didn't want to mention that number. Fam. So let's go back to Bayern Munich.
No, that's the thing, right? Bayern Munich has a very good team. They have a very good squad, right? And there's no one in the entire league that can match them in terms of firstly the starting 11 and secondly the squad and squad depth and quality of squad depth. So
What
until
squad depth?
was that
What squad depth?
Bayern has players that could fill in almost every position that is quality players.
I do find so.
Bayern have a I don't find so either.
I do find so.
Bayern has a good starting 11. That is it.
But I have one striker, sir. One.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
think he's figured that.
if he's the best in the world, you don't need any other.
Musiala is
Oh
their backup striker. But he's be playing CDM and thing.
yeah, he's be all over the pitch.
He's play everywhere. He is their depth. Musiala is their depth.
One game he might see my centre back. Who knows?
But I think I honestly think like the pull over the Bundesliga clubs is something cultural as well. It's like
Mm-hmm.
kind of like Juventus in Italy. It's the same thing. Like because they have been so successful for so long, all these young German players grow up wanting to play for Bayern Munich.
Bayern Munich, yeah.
It's
And I
not only
think
that, like, you play for Bayern, you play for Germany, right? That was a big thing for a
Mm-hmm.
while. It wasn't
yeah,
like you have to play for Bayern to play for Germany, or you have to play for Italy, Juventus to play for Italy. But the chances are, if you're playing for them and you're playing good, you make the team.
Yeah, yeah.
and I
Mm-hmm.
think what we're seeing now is that, and we have been for a while, but what we're seeing now is if you're not good enough for Bayern anymore, you go to the next best thing, which is Dortmund. So Hummels did it.
Mm-hmm.
Now Sula's doing it. You know, if you're not good enough for Bayern, you go to the next best thing, which is Dortmund. So it's almost
I mean,
become a
it's not
pyramid.
it's not that
Mm-hmm.
it's not that Sula not good enough, eh? Sula they decided to leave. They wanted to sign him back. Right?
So then why you
He just
leave?
decided to leave. Free,
I
it's
do
that
think
it's
he
free
was
agent.
I do think he was that good for them, to be honest. Like
No, he
I
wasn't,
real
but they
I
wanted to
real like
re-sign him.
Sula, but I don't think he lived up to what he could have done
Mm-hmm.
for a player that size. No way.
Yeah,
He
I,
was
I think he,
supposed to be.
I think he come in Spain and should them what they missed it, you know.
But yeah, that's what else you want to say about Bayern other than they are a tremendously well-run club
they are.
who have
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing.
a chokehold on the entire league and its
Mhm.
players.
But
Actually,
Leipzig wants to bring a dominance, eh? They really do.
And
But I think it will take a while.
that's it. It will take a little while, and Leipzig
Mm-hmm.
needs to also realize that what happened last season can't happen if they're going to do that. They lost
Mm-hmm.
Nagelsmann to Bayern. They lost Sabitzer to Bayern. They lost Upamecano to Bayern. Even though Upamecano wasn't all that great a centre back to begin
Yeah.
with, but Konate was the real star, and
Mm-hmm.
he rightly joined the bigger club. But I think if Leipzig wants to be serious, but again, if Bayern come calling and say we're giving you 40 million for that player, who is you to say no? So
Yeah.
they kind of do
true.
have a choice.
Yeah. Yeah. But they really want to bring that Bayern dominance. But it's hard. It's really hard.
The only time that Bayern dominance would be broken is if they have a horror season.
Mm-hmm.
And
I mean, they did have a horror season and it didn't even broken.
yeah,
So
this season they were horrible and they
Mm-hmm.
still in the league. So you had to take advantage of these things. And Leipzig weren't good enough this season. Haaland was injured most of the season. So, and I do think Daniel Malen lived up to the
No.
expectations that we had of him.
No, no.
No.
but I think Leipzig could try to build up their squad over the next 2 years and then try to compete. 'Cause I think they have a really good young talented pool of
Yeah,
players.
they do. They
So
do.
the,
They
the
do.
main thing, the main thing they need to do is hold on to the players. That's more important than even signing players right now. If
But
they
that's
could
going to be
hold
so
on to the
hard.
players,
Yeah,
that's the
that'll be
thing.
hard.
That's going to be
Karim,
hard
right?
because everybody's
Karim.
gonna target Christopher and Kunku. Everybody's gonna
Yeah,
um
for sure, for
yeah,
sure.
Adeyemi.
everybody.
Mm-hmm.
There's there's teams who are gonna target Angelino. There are teams who are gonna target what's his guy name again? Silvasai will pronounce it,
Dominic.
right? Yeah. So there are teams who are going to target their top players, and it's up to them to try to hold them up, try to hold
Yeah,
them. Even
even
Quadrado
Daniel
now.
Mo is a pretty good, pretty handy player himself.
Yeah, yeah.
Did
So it's all up to
question?
them.
Did anyone buy Gravenberch as yet?
No, but
No.
Bayern supposed to get him.
Yeah, because I mean, if Bayern get him, that just puts the icing on the cake, right? Because that's the type of player Leipzig need to sign if they want to break that dominance. But
Mm-hmm.
What Bayern do is they buy the same type of players that the Leipzigs and the Dortmund want to buy. So it come like you're shortening the pool, and then you're taking their best players on top of that. So it's really no way of
Mm-hmm.
these teams really toppling Bayern at all.
Yeah.
Because Gravenberch is
And
going to be, one of the next best midfielders in the world.
yeah. And if they give Bayern a chance, they will take Alan too. To be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah.
Yeah, they'll take Alan too. It ain't
Yeah.
gonna happen, but yeah. I'm very, very sure. You see how as of right now, Adeyemi is looking like he's going to Dortmund.
Hmm.
I'm very sure he's going to Bayern right after.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
a Bayern signing. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
and
And
the thing
that's gonna
is,
be the move.
and Kunku is going to go to a bigger club, whether it's in the Premier League or La Liga or something, and
Hmm.
that will be the end of that. And Leipzig will just have to continue be it,
Hmm.
and that's why the pyramid will always remain. Pyramid will
Yeah.
always remain.
But the good thing with Leipzig is that they actually have Salzburg to pull from if they want good players. And
Right.
that's a nice thing, yeah. But these teams need to realize, okay, you want to be the best, you can't sell your best players, right? Because you're not a feeder
But
club.
they making money from Bayern too, right? Because Upamecano was like
Yeah,
40, Sabitzer was 20 or something like that.
true.
So they making money, but Bayern making money from the Champions League, and that money is being filtered to the rest of the Bundesliga. So it comes like Bayern financing all these clubs now.
Yeah, it's true.
And in a time like
Just,
this, these
just
clubs
not
really need
Leipzig.
financing.
Because you know that Leipzig, I don't know if you all know that, but Leipzig is the most hated club in Germany,
Yeah, they
right?
are. They
Where's
are.
that?
So
They are the
Leipzig
most
is the
hated
most
club.
hated club in Germany. Yeah, just because they're not a traditional German club,
Hmm.
right? And that is why Leipzig tried so hard to break those dominance. But like if you go to Germany now, Israel and you ask any German fan who's the most hated club, they will tell you Leipzig straight out. They don't even hesitate.
Yeah, Leipzig.
Yeah. So I really hope that one day that they do. It doesn't look like it's anytime soon. And Dortmund just underwhelmed them. Because Dortmund have a good team, yeah?
Okay. So there's another way that Bayern could that dominance could be broken, right? And
Hmm.
that's if they follow the Juventus model and they hire a set of managers and buy a set of players that just don't make sense.
But they do that and they still win the league. They had Niko Kovac. They had Nagelsmann not doing anything good with his team, and they still win the league. So,
Now just get them a couple more seasons, let it continue that way, and we'll see.
because as much
I
as
th-
I like, as
I
much
think
as I like,
Nagelsmann is a good coach though. So
as much as I like Niko Kovac and Nagelsmann, they were underwhelming with Bayern, and I don't think Nagelsmann is doing that great of a job, honestly.
Hmm.
And I also think Thomas Müller is playing in some horrible football right now.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yep.
man, the man sell rail guns against Villarreal, boy. Wow, you'll see that game.
But
see, I
by
think
the
that
way,
that's been his form for a while.
he is the most he has the most Bundesliga titles now. It's 11
Yeah.
of any player. Hats off to him.
I mean, just give Kings the Coman a few years after he retire.
Kingsley
You
Coman.
already that guy?
No.
Let me
No.
hear it.
I think he's a very useful squad player for any team, and he can make it as a squad player in any team. So
Hmm.
he has some level of talent. I mean, his agent has been a massive godsend to him.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
but yeah, would I have him starting over like in a 11 in a big club? Not really, no.
But he start for Bayern, who is a big club.
Yeah, but then again, how much
Wow.
competition they have?
He has
Sorry?
he has
How much
he has
competition they
seven
have?
he
The,
has
he,
seven Bundesliga trophies. Wow.
Yeah.
the only position Bayern have any kind of depth in is the wing. They have Koeman, they have Gnabry, they have Leroy Sané, they have Alfonso Davies who could play left wing, Musiala could play on the wing, Thomas Müller could play on the wing. And then they have another youth, I can't remember right now. They have real depth on the wing. But Koeman starts. Koeman and one of Napri or 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 Leroy Sané usually
Play,
and
start.
his and his and
playing
his
in
wing
a
back he plays,
team.
eh?
Yeah.
His wing back he plays.
Who's that?
Bayern plays his wing backs now.
Yeah.
And either Gnabry or him plays wing back.
But Sane plays wing back
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what
I,
Nagelsmann really do. Like I do understand his tactics sometimes now, but because he had Leroy Sané playing right wing back for a portion of the game against Villarreal. It was like, what are you doing?
yeah, confusing.
But they did have injuries. Davies was injured for yeah,
Yeah.
half of this
He,
year so
Yeah.
far,
yeah, he's back though. But yeah,
and they
he's
don't
back
have a
now. But
right back. So because they take their best right back in the world and say, nah, you go and play in midfield.
well,
I
And then
mean,
he's doing great in midfield too,
he's
eh? So
they
doing
take
you
a
can't get
they
that
take
wrong.
a man they take a man who was a centre back and say, right, you go and play right back because you score a goal in the World Cup at right back. But Pavard
But you can't get
is
that wrong with Kimmich, eh?
nah, I can't
Kimmich
get
is
them
great
wrong.
in midfield too.
Kimmich is the
Yeah,
best CDM in the world, but
yeah,
at the same time, like he
Kimmich is
was the
probably one of the best players in the world if you're looking at it.
yeah, he
Like
is.
he
yeah,
do get the accolades he need to get, honestly.
yeah,
He
Yeah.
don't
for
get the
sure, for
vaccines he
sure.
needs to get either, but
Okay.
that's a story for next day.
I mean, I think he naturally inoculated now, so it's fine.
All the 06.
Yeah. I think we can move on to the next dominance. That's no longer there.
So yeah, we can move on to the next piece that we want to talk about. So that is the Chile. I don't think it's no longer that Chile Serie title anymore
No, it's not
because
true
Napoli
anymore.
lost today. Yeah, Napoli lost to Empoli today.
I tell all you about that man Victor Osimhen. Tell all you.
I honestly think
I
that's
saw it. I
Inter's to
saw
lose right now.
You saw. Yeah.
I
I
saw.
think
Yeah,
I
yeah.
really think
It
Leicester
is
is
right
his
now.
level though. I really think Leicester is his level and he will thrive on that in that team. But
So two horse race. Inter and Milan. Right? It is Inter to lose in my
I
in my
mean,
opinion.
if we being fair, is probably slightly easier fixtures for Milano.
yeah, but Inter played Roma yesterday and
Mm-hmm.
Inter were the better
And
team
clean them
by
up.
far. They cleaned them up. They should now win 3-1. They should win like 5-1, 6-1. They had a lot of chances and honestly, if you all go and watch go on if you could pull up the highlights, pull up Brozovic goal now.
I
If you
can't
could
remember.
oblige me.
Nah, I
Brozovic
can't.
Brozovic scored an amazing goal in that game boy. It was let me see if I could pull it up here.
But
But
honestly, I think a lot of Serie A fans, you know, a lot of Serie A
Vic
fans,
what he chat Vic.
okay. Alright.
Yeah.
a lot of Serie A fans are happy to see that Inter Milan are up there. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
it's been a while since these teams have been consistently threatening for top positions in the league,
Mhm.
and that little period, that they dip for, it's been a sad story for a lot of fans. So I'm really happy to see that both of them are back up there.
Yeah. And Inter can thank Antonio Conte, to be honest. Even
Yeah,
that done it till 2 years. Yeah, done it
he's
till two
done a
years there.
great job.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did. Yeah, done it till 2 years. And if there wasn't selling Emmanuel, the remaining good players, he would have stayed on. It would have still been the same. I think the league would have been done already if he was still there.
Yeah, but at the same time, Inzaghi is doing a really, really good job
Yeah,
because he
yeah.
took out
He
Lukaku
is.
from
He
that
is.
team. and you
Yes.
replace them with Joaquin Correa, and I mean,
And
Lukaku
Jacko.
and Joaquin Correa is two different players, and yet still
Mm-hmm.
they managed to,
Mm-hmm.
like Inter is a team of midfielders right now. Their entire team is just midfielders, in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion, and they're still doing really, really well. And well,
Yeah,
they're on
and
top, and they
they replace Dumfries with Hakimi, and Dumfries doing the job still.
Dumfries doing the job.
So,
Dumfries scored against Roma.
yeah, yeah, you
He's
did. A
Dumfries
player who I really rate, but
he's the
he
he's the
scored. Yeah, he
Dutch
scored.
Marcus Alonso. I find Chelsea could take a little punt at Dumfries. What do you think?
Oh gosh.
Um, all in favor of dropping Vic, please. Raise your hand.
And I think we had a long session today, so I think we Ted. So I think
Yeah, I feel so.
But Dumfries attacking wise, he's really good. He's
yeah,
proven
Yeah,
he's
he
that
really
is.
good
time
going
and time
forward.
again. Like he for that goal that he scored, right? I think it was Brozovic who had the ball on the left side, and he passed the ball. Lautaro dominated, and Dumfries was alone. He was playing like a striker basically, and he
Mhm.
nutmegged Rui Patricio and scored.
Wow.
And I think like he's not a good defender at all whatsoever,
Mhm. Mhm.
but he's doing the job. He's doing the job Hakimi was doing, and he's bossing the Serie. But a player that
Yeah,
I think Brozovic has been really, really crucial to the center team,
he
and
is. He
he
is.
scored in
He is.
back-to-back games. And I think the formation that they play too is really interesting. They play one striker. They play a number 10, who is Chalanoglu. They play like a five across the midfield, so the two wing backs and a midfield three. The wing backs would be Dumfries on the left and the guy slipping my name right now.
Perisic on the Dumfries on the right, Perisic on the left.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Perisic, and then you have a midfield three, and then it's their back three, and it's a formation I never see before because like a 3-5-1-1. But Inzaghi's getting the best out of it. Chalanoglu, he's really hot and cold, but he's been playing okay. He's getting chances, and I mean, I
Chalanoglu
think
has been their best player this season, yes, sir?
yeah, but he's hot and cold in terms of like
Yeah, he
his
is not on goal,
yeah.
but he is the best player this season.
Yeah, because he's starting right behind Lautaro, and like Lautaro just making space for him, and Chalobah will just pipe in. That's all he doing whole
So,
game.
so normally, what goes on is that most games is the midfield three will consist of Barella, Chalanoglu, and Brozer, right? And then they will
Hmm.
play either Laturo and Dzeko. So
Right.
that is the team most games,
Yeah.
right? And then well, the wing backs will rotate. You will have Damian sometimes. You'll have Perisic sometimes. You'll have whoever. Um, and they rotate their centre backs a lot. I don't know if you ever noticed that.
Yeah.
There are times when Ronokia would play. There are times where Bastoni would start. They'll play DiMarco. They'll play D'Ambrosio.
Hmm.
They rotate their centre backs a lot, and then they now have a proper left wing back in Robin Gosens, who I think will start properly next season. And then they have Correa and Sanchez if they can bring up the bench if they need goals. So this Inter
Sanchez.
team is a very good Inter team.
It is. It is.
Yeah, and this Inter team could have actually sent Liverpool home in Champions League. It was possible.
It was. Yeah.
It didn't happen. Yeah, but it was possible. So that's
So
to show how good this Inter team is.
I have
As
a
you mentioned,
question
I
to
have
put to
three
you.
questions. So go first, Rick. Got three questions after.
You all think this Inter team could repeat and make it 3 titles in a row, considering the state Juventus is in now? And what do you think Juventus needs to do to get back to that level?
I think yes, they can win three in a row. Yes, AC has been pushing them to to win it, but I don't think AC. at that level yet. Right? I really don't think so. Yes, yes, they're showing that they could push. Yes, it's been evident, but I don't think they're at that level yet to actually win it. And Juve need Jesus Christ, boy.
I would say yes, they could win it back to back again. I would say Juve probably need to change their coach and a lot of their aging players.
I don't think the coach is the problem. I think it's the team itself. That team like Manu right now. Like really.
Yeah,
They
don't
have
get me
good
wrong.
they have they have
I have
good
a lot
players
of
in certain positions, but some of them just need to ride out.
I have a lot of respect for Allegri, right? But I think that even changing the players alone wouldn't be enough of a push.
Remember he inherited this team this season, eh? It's not like it's not like he came and he said, well, guys, I want this team and whatever, and he built this team from the ground up. He inherited. Yes, some of these players are his players, but he inherited a team who has been horrible for a while now, right? And yes, he have some good players there in Zakaria and Lahovic and Phillips and who else boy? And well,
I find
McKinney and
McKenny is a
Kiesa,
good
right?
player too.
Yeah, right. McKinney and Kiesa, right? But other than
Yeah.
that, who else good on that UV team? Who deserves to start on that UV team?
Rabio. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. You know, I hate that man. I find Rabio is one of the most overrated players.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah, he is.
up to now, I don't know
Yeah,
what
but
he's do good. He's like the French
so let me
Fred.
tell so let me tell you, Rabio agent is his mother. And his
Oh
brother's
yeah.
real push for him.
She real
Real
annoying,
push for him. Real push for him. Please make sure her son go in the right places. Right? But let me not mention how she's do that. But yeah.
Yeah. In other news, Barcelona are currently losing 1-0 to Rio Vallecano,
Alright. Good
and
stuff.
we in the last few minutes. So La Liga could be wrapped up by this weekend.
I thought I was wrapped up a long time.
Yeah, I thought
I
so
thought
too.
so too,
with
honestly.
a 15-point lead, I would say so. But my boy Carlo, he
Anything is
say
possible, eh?
he wanna make sure it's mathematically impossible before he say anything. So yeah.
Alright.
So I have it was three questions, but I can't remember the last one right now. But two questions, and we don't need to fully discuss it today. We could probably take it up on the next session, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think PSG are going to sack their coach
Yeah.
Pochettino. So
Yeah, I think so too.
would you say that's a fair thing for him? What's his performance like? And then the next thing would be we have a coach with a very good record. Let me put it this way: who has been on a year off, he's taken
Zidane.
some time off. You think he'd come back next season? To you think he'd continue until somebody else calls upon him?
I think
So
Zidane waiting for
France,
Deschamps to get knocked out
Yeah.
of the World Cup,
Oh
Same.
yeah.
and then he will
Same.
take over the French national team, and he go hold that spot for years and years and years.
Yeah.
I,
Same.
right? So
I don't think he'll
back
go
to
PSG.
Pochettino. Is it fair? And who you think could replace him? I see Conte say I available.
God, is it
You
that?
know,
Yes,
yeah.
Conte said that he wants it. He putting himself out there.
Wow.
Man manifesting it.
For the pan.
You say
Conte
you think that's gonna
will
happen?
He for the
if it's
pan already. I mean, Tottenham already, boy. Damn.
if it's one player, if it's one coach, sorry, that would break that PSG curse in terms of the managers is Conte, because I don't know, he different one. He had Victor
He
Moses
is.
playing
He
at a
is.
Champions League level, right?
Imagine that.
Conte different boy, and he's the kind of
Well, is
coach
he?
that
Well,
PSG needs. They
is
need
he
a
had
disciplinarian. They need
is
a
he have
disciplinarian.
Alonso good in all their head?
That's probably true. That's probably true.
So along those numbers has him
Oh
good
my
in my
gosh.
picture.
And that is because of Antonio Conte. Who was Marcos Alonso before Antonio Conte? Who was he? Let's
Fair
be real.
enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Understandable. But I think you put Conte in that system in that PSG, you give him back Hakimi. That's the day.
Yes, it didn't.
That's the day.
Flying.
Right?
They might actually win the Champions League next season. Who knows?
But Conte, wild boy. Are you gonna come out and say, well, give me a job one time now?
But
He's a
honestly,
whole
no,
coach,
no.
man. On his
Spurs
club.
problem. Spurs problem is Daniel Levy. Spurs
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
problem is
yeah,
Daniel
it
Levy,
is. It
right?
is.
I honestly
And
think
Conte
Spurs
knows
is
himself.
really good for the limitations that they have.
Conte
But
knows
they don't
himself,
need to have
guys.
any limitations. That's the thing.
Correct.
That's the thing. That's the thing. Yeah, and
And
finally, just want to wrap up with Champions League this week. We all think gonna happen in the first leg.
um, is Real City and
Liverpool,
Liverpool,
Villarreal.
Villarreal. Right. So,
I think
who playing where first?
we playing at the Etihad first,
Oh gosh.
Right.
and
Right.
Ex-
Villarreal
2-1,
also
2-1 to
playing at
Real.
Liverpool.
Excuse?
2-1
Hello?
to Real. Benzema brace. And where
Villarreal
and
playing
Villarreal playing Liverpool.
Anfield. Yeah,
Right. Right. And 4-0 to Liverpool.
I agree with the 4-0 to Liverpool, but I would think it would be 2-1 to City, not us.
Possibly, yeah. I just wild.
Yeah. I think it'll be
honestly,
2-1 to City.
honestly,
It'll
I
be 2.
take in anything with not more than if we lose by more than one, I'll be sad. Anything more than that, I happy. Like if we lose by one, I wouldn't be too sad, because the kind of injury problems that we possibly have going into this, if we
Yeah.
could scrape out, if we take a nil or something, I okay with that. Anything that we don't have to chase more than one goal, I happy.
Hopefully Jesus does only rise on the weekend and not during the week because
I feel like
that
The
would be
man,
the
problem.
Antichrist, boy.
the
I feel like
man
the
here, he
Antichrist,
linked
boy.
to Arsenal and do that, eh? That's what going on with him.
Yeah, yeah. He chop off. He said Arsenal. No, 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 no.
He hear Haaland coming to take his place, he make sure.
Because
Hey,
because
he
all
does,
of a sudden he scored 4 goals. No, 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 no. I don't think I ever see you do that, boy. He was
No.
scored a trick before.
I think he have a hat trick, but like is the way he do it now. Where, like as soon as he have that's it.
Yeah, yeah. He was
Man
like,
flip.
time to. He said, time
if
to up my tempo, fellas.
if he
And,
was in
and
Real
It's
Madrid,
time.
he'd be the best player in the world. Could the
the
amount of
funny
rumors that's coming through there.
the funny thing, right, is that he know him going to start against Madrid.
No, I don't.
That's the
No.
funny
That's
thing.
doubtful.
Nah,
That's highly
they
doubtful
But
that he starts.
it would be Maras. It would be Maras, Foden, and KDB probably.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
For
but
sure.
the hard thing about him, he's a talented player, a really talented player. And I don't think he even close to realizing how good of a player he is. Um, to be honest,
Kwan
Yeah, I
Boy
but
said
find he not
will
serious.
run on
I,
your
I
church for
just
that.
find
Dog.
I feel he too comfortable and he not serious. And I
Mm-hmm.
think the Haaland rumors really like click him like shit, my job on the line. Let me
Yep.
one score.
yeah,
Cause I think remember
yeah, yeah.
he never really had any pressure on him because Aguero was Tottenham before. And then
Hmm.
when Aguero leave, KDB, Mahrez, like Sterling, all these men, they were always getting goals. Like they never really needed Jesus to perform. Even and I think he carried that on to Brazil as well. Like he never was the main man. They never depended on him and him alone.
But I think he's better as a playing off for the left, playing off the right. To be honest,
Yeah,
I don't think he. I don't.
I
I don't
think
find
so.
he's still as a striker. Yeah, he's better when he cuts inside.
And he right footed too. That's the thing.
Yeah.
But
So
either way, I think look, he not leaving City. I don't think City want him to leave. I think he good there as their backup striker. And
mhm.
yeah, he go play next weekend again.
But
So
so yeah. So bring them in now. You get a little forwards.
yeah,
Since you have another game, we coming up now.
yeah. I'm looking like a shout in a way. Hurricane nothing. Hurricane nothing. I could have
Anyway,
bring in
we go to
team over now this week. I say nah. Bring in Hurricane. And Spurs play like utter garbage.
Spurs. But they need a shot on target.
So, but we know the Brentford thing in the London games, but the form Spurs was in, and then just like that.
But we spoke about that. We spoke
Yes,
about
I
that.
said, I mentioned that Spurs is be Spurs, yeah? Just
Yes,
last week.
yes, you
Yeah, and
did.
I told Pick that um Brentford has played good in home games. I mean
Yeah,
in
in
home games
London.
plus
Brentford in
in
London.
derbies. Yeah,
Brentford in London.
they do good. Yeah,
But hey, as we are 3 minutes, Ivan Toney to Newcastle earlier. What do you think about that one? That's the
back to
latest.
Newcastle.
Back to Newcastle, homecoming, 30 million.
It's not a bad option to be honest.
Yeah,
If
that sounds good.
if I was Brentford, I would say here what 20 million and give it Callum Wilson
Nah,
because I think Callum Wilson could score a lot of goals in that Brentford team.
I don't think they should sell Callum, to be honest.
But they have
I
Chris
think
Wood,
I think Callum is a better player than Tony. To be
Dan
honest,
Tony,
just injury prone. Just
Dan
injury
Tony, I
prone.
say.
Yeah, I telling you, I really like Callum Hudson. and
You
and
Me
know,
too,
and
but
and,
I don't think he
and
better
Eddie
than
Howe
Brentford too.
and Eddie Howe does too. But
True, but
I don't think he's gonna sell Hudson.
I
I
don't
have
think he better than Tony though. I think Tony's a
Yeah,
better player than Callum Wilson.
that is our opinion, right? But
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't think I don't think they should trade. I don't think they should trade.
But then
I think
they don't need
I
they
have a
should
Sebastian
quick
buy,
too.
question. I have a quick question for you, right?
but they don't need Wood.
I have a quick question for you, right? I have no idea what went on in this game, right? I'm not watching the last few minutes, right? But you want to guess how much added time Barcelona have,
10,
especially following the week that the
10,
audio leaks come out.
10, 10, 10,
10,
10.
Is
10
11,
minutes.
11,
Mm-hmm.
Wow,
11,
wow.
and I hear they get like an extra two added on
PK,
for
but
things.
PK
Boy,
working.
Be careful.
PK working.
But like how
President
much
Hill.
yellow card happened in this game. Wow.
Sekeda,
So
fellas. Sekeda.
say in the last, so if I'm in 89 minutes, then Bailey got a yellow card. Then Alaba got a yellow card. Mario Nanas got a yellow card. And then Trejo Ram got a yellow card. It's 4 yellow cards around the 90th minute day. Who went on there? It's
Mm-hmm.
not a big fight. But
you
I
know,
don't know.
probably,
It's
but
a real yellow card in this game.
I see they playing 9 men in the box right now, and then they counter attacking and they almost go. So yeah, but I think they should wrap up a pretty dismal La Liga season for a lot of clubs.
Mhm.
Pretty happy for
Anyway,
Carlo.
congrats to Carlo, the first
Uh,
manager to win all 5
Major
league
leagues.
titles.
I mean,
Yeah.
not sealed as yet, but yeah.
Oh, go,
go,
go.
Until it's
Or you win
go.
the league,
mathematically there.
Dan. Or
Until
you win
it's
the league, Dan.
mathematically there, I'm not going to say nothing. But yeah,
Or you win the league,
congrats
Dan,
to
right?
Carlo. I
Yeah,
think
congrats to Carlo.
despite what happens in the Champions League, I think he did a really, really good job this season.
I find
So
too. I find he's
Yeah, he did.
he is
He did.
too disrespected amongst the Real Madrid
Boy,
fan base.
if boy, Carlo's a great coach. Great coach.
He
I
is.
would love to still have Carlo at Chelsea. Would always love to have Carlo at Chelsea.
yeah, I really hope he doesn't get sacked for anything happening in the Champions League, whether he win it or not. You know,
Mhm.
Who they will bring though? Who they will bring? Can
Exactly.
nobody
Zinedine
to bring?
Zinedine Zidane.
Tell us
Again,
Zidane just sitting
Any
waiting for France.
anytime Perez calls Zidane will show up.
he will. He
Nah,
will.
no. Zidane done with we. That's the day.
Nah, you come back, you come back. Probably not now, but you come back.
So all right, guys. Well, that's it there. Um, Great show. You know, hope you all enjoy it and have a good evening.
Good evening.
By
Good
the
evening.
way, if anybody, if you want anybody, Rahul, could always come and go to it.
Don't call my goat name in vain, and also he will
Probably in like 3 or 4 years. Not
he
not
will
as yet.
take
Not as
over.
yet.
He will take over when he ready. He not
Not
ready
as yet.
yet.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So you don't worry. So you don't worry yourself.
I,
All
I
right,
am
guys.
just in this belief that we are in the 113th minute in a 90-minute game with no extra time. But okay. Have a great evening, everybody.
All right, guys. Later.
It's a
Later.